This is the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 16, is that today this wicked Edomite woman was found guilty of fatally poisoning her husband. All right. This was a big court proceeding. I mean, it was all over the news for several days. And at first I thought, because we live in such a wicked society, that this woman was going to get off being a woman, all right? But the evidence was so damning, all right, that she was found guilty. But, and this is how you know we live in a wicked, all right, society, because she didn't get the death penalty, all right? She just got 25 to life, all right? Because if you kill your husband, all right, that's murder, all right? You're supposed to be put down, okay? And that's why, this place is ran in wickedness, okay? Righteous judgment doesn't righteous judgment doesn't get pushed to the forefront at all, okay? It's not established here. In fact, I think it's in Habakkuk, or it talks about righteous judgment don't go forth. Habakkuk chapter 1, I believe. Yep, here it is. Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore the law is slacked. Right, the law according to, all right, the law, statutes, commandments, all right, that's in the Bible, right, that this country claims to uphold, in which they don't, all right, but that's that fraudulent spirit, that this country pushes out. They act like they're holier than thou, but they're not. They don't follow none of the laws in the Bible, okay? Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgments does never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Wrong judgment proceeded. Let's see what it says in the NLT version. The law has become paralyzed, and there is no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteous, and so that justice has become perverted. Right. So this woman should have been put to death, but she's not. She's getting 25 to life. Okay. And that goes to show you that this kingdom is ruled in unrighteousness. So, back to the topic. All right. This is a good example of why, you need to vet these women that you deal with, okay? And understand that a lot of these women, okay, are wicked, all right? They have ill intent. All right, and that's why, again, I brought out Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon. Right. So basically, okay, you rather dwell with the most ferocious beast on earth than to keep a house with a wicked woman. Because not only did this woman poison her husband, all right, who she bare children with, all right, it says she gave birth to 3 children from this man from her husband that she killed, all right, with fentanyl, all right, After that, she wrote a children's book about grief and the loss of a loved one. Talk about, okay, wicked, all right? And the reason why she did this was to get money, all right? That's why it says right here, jurors deliberated for just over 3 hours on Monday, March 16th, before finding Curry, Dart, and Richards guilty of first-degree aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, forgery, and insurance fraud, right, the life insurance policy, all right? That was up in the millions, a couple of millions. In the death of her husband, Eric Richards, 39, died on March 4, 2022, of a fentanyl overdose at the couple's home in Kamas, Utah, a small mountain town about 40 miles east of Salt Lake City. Here, I want to read this too. Quote, we, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstances beyond reasonable doubt. Right. So, hey, that's why, you know, you have individuals out there talking about only God can judge me. Well, you're off. Okay. All kingdoms have a judicial system. Okay. That administers, all right, their form of justice. We know America's form of justice is completely backwards, all right? However, at the end of the day, all kingdoms, okay, administer a judicial system, okay, according to the law of the land and of the culture, okay? This is why I want to bring this out, because in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 18, us Israelites, we have judges and officers, all right? And what does it say right here? Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, throughout thy tribes, right? The 12 tribes. And they shall judge the people with just judgment. You see that? So anybody talking about only God can judge is off. And they need a nuke, all right? If you are hanging around somebody that says only God can judge me, you know, you got to get the hell away from that person. All right. Only God can judge. If they're moving in that spirit, they're off. All right. And they're total hypocrites. All right. Because every kingdom has a judicial system, has their form of justice. Okay. I'm going to say it like that. I'm just trying to choose the right words. 19, thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the just. Is right. And this is why we know that there's a lot of sellouts amongst our own nation, all right? Because this is what they do. You must never twist justice or show partiality, all right? And that happens a lot. Never accept a bribe, for bribes blind the eyes of the wise and corrupt the decisions of the godly, right? Okay, and the Lord don't like that, okay? You have to judge righteously, judge just. All right, what does just mean here? Let's see. Get a little Hebrew too, you know, since it's the Sabbath. You know, Hebrew on the Sabbath. Shout out to my beloved brother, Elder Shamar. He always does Hebrew on the Sabbath. So what right here you have tazadak. You see that? Tazadak. That's the Hebrew word, right, for just, right? This is a taza right here. This is a da right here. And this is a qua. So it means tazadak, okay? So, you know, you got to learn some Hebrew so you get more understanding. And this is something our apostle elders push, okay, here at Great Millstone through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. So it's justice, rightness, righteousness. What is right or just or normal? Righteousness, justness of weights and measures. Right. And where do we get what is right or normal or justness? The scriptures, okay, the law, statutes, and commandments. Righteousness in government. You see that? Okay. Judges, rulers, and kings. Okay. So this is why America is ran in wickedness, because Donald Trump's, when they asked him, you know, what his reasoning is in his decision making, he says it's his own will, it's his own mind. That right? Let me show you. When did Donald Trump say he judges according to his own righteousness. So he basically said, he was his own his own moral decision, something. I think he meant moral, his own moral decisions. Yeah, this is it. Own morality and own mind. This is it. In an interview, yeah, this is it right here. In an interview published on January 8, 2026, President Donald Trump stated that his authority and power are constrained. You see? All right. First of all, the authority and power, according to the Constitution, comes from the people, right? Okay. And the Constitution is what's supposed to hold his feet to the fire. But what did he say right here? He didn't say the Constitution. He said, are constrained only by his own morality and own mind. Talk about pride and arrogancy. This is how you know America is a wicked kingdom, okay? The President of the United States said his own morality and his own mind, not the Constitution, okay? Not the laws, okay, that were established by what's it called? The judges and lawmakers before him, okay? And again, the judges and lawmakers before him, they're supposed to pass laws according to what the Constitution says, all right? So they don't write unrighteous decrees. But you know, they all are freaking wicked, all right? But the point is, this is what Donald Trump said. And then he said, he doesn't need international law, right? Because not only there's a constitution that he's supposed to follow, he's also supposed to follow the international law, which he says he doesn't need, right? Which is all working towards America's demise, because what Donald Trump is doing, and you clearly see it, he's isolating America. Okay, America's being isolated, and that's working towards the prophecy when it comes to all ye that bend the bow shoot at her. Okay, all these nations are going to come against America, including NATO. And you're seeing NATO doesn't want to have anything to do with the Strait of Hormuz, which Donald Trump's threatening them. It's getting spicy. America's taking major L's in that war. Okay, the fact that he's begging NATO to get in there and help with the to make an attempt to open the Strait of Hormuz proves that America's losing that war, which I'll more likely do more lessons on, because my spirit's on this war, because these are the times that we're in prophecy. So let's go back to this scripture right here. Deuteronomy 16, verse 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with judgment. Right. Hold on. And they shall judge the people with just judgment. Okay, just. Okay. Tazadak. Okay. Now, this is why in the kingdom of heaven, when the disciples asked Yahweh Shai, what will they get since they've forsaken all, meaning they rejected the age that they were living in, and that's the same spirit you got to be in. You got to reject this current world, this current age, so you get the kingdom. This is what Yahweh Shai says. So I'm going to read it. Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore. 28, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, you see that? Okay, so this is talking about reincarnation. That's why you plantation Christians can't understand the Bible, because you don't believe in reincarnation. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see that? All right. This is where you get 12,000 from each tribe in the book of Revelation, chapter 7. All right. Because the judges, all right, for the kingdom of heaven are going to be Yahushua, King David, and the 144,000 that are going to be come out of the that are going to be broken down, 12,000 from each tribe. Okay, 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes. All right, 12,000. All right, from each tribe. And you can read in Revelation 7. So, all right, judges are always going to be here. All right, this is how kingdoms are ran and governed. So anybody that says only God can judge me is off. Clearly, this woman got judged, even though she should have got the death penalty for doing what she did. But hey, this is but again, this is why you got to be mindful of these wicked women, you know. Let me get this scripture. And I had more, but we got the point, you know, why you need to be mindful, all right, of these women. You need to be vetting them. You need to be understanding the time that you're living in, okay? Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. You see that? Okay? Because this is a good example. Snares and nets. All right? And it's not just Edomite women. It's all these women from all the nations, including our own nation. All right? I've done plenty of lessons of wicked women, Israelite women, killing their own children. Okay? Hiring a hitman to kill their husband. Yeah, man. Because when you don't fear God, all right, this is the lifestyle, all right, that these women subject themselves to, because they don't fear the God of the Bible. All right, there's no fear of God in the land, and this just proves it. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I found more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her right. And this was this man's judgment too. All right, he was a wicked Edomite to guarantee in his past life he did some horrible shit to Jake, and this is the way the Lord judged him, by having his own wife poison him. Okay, all right, but this is a good example of why you should please the Lord if you call yourself a man of the Lord, so that the woman, all right, that the Lord blesses you with doesn't become a demon like this. This is straight up wicked. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to Sirach Akim and Akwaf. Hey, this just proves we're almost out of here, man. All right, we need the kingdom of heaven. All right, this should motivate you why we need the kingdom of heaven, why we got to get the hell up out of here, and it also confirms to those that are in the spirit, you know, of prophecy. Like, yeah, we're almost out of here. You know, even the so-called white man, he's going down. All right, his own wives are clipping him. Okay, taking him out. You know, yeah, man. You know, this is a curse to these Edomites. They're now experiencing the curses. You know what? Let me get that. Got to bring that out. Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. Right. And one of the curses is, if you go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, you know what? I got it. All right. In verse 56, this was a curse for us, but now it's falling upon these devils, these Edomites. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. Yeah. Okay. And toward her son and toward her daughter. Right. And this is a good example. All right. She killed her own husband. Okay. The children don't have a father, and the mother's now in prison for life, damn near. Okay. All right. And this is how you know this is a major curse that's fallen upon these Edomites. And this proves that, all right, this man is going down. So, Lord willing, this lets edify. I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles, elders. We're almost out of here. To the few sisters that are watching, stay locked in, okay? Keep studying and stay prayed up. We're almost out of here. All right, when you pray, of course, cover your head. All right, but we're almost out of here. This is confirmation. We're almost out of here. All right, so to stay locked in, all right? Don't let this this place, okay, get the best of you, all right? We got the truth. That's all that matters. And with that, shalom.